Before the bank called me at 7:04 a.m., my life looked normal. Not perfect, but stable. I had routines, morning workouts, black coffee, a job where people respected my opinions. I paid my bills on time, my credit score was clean, my name meant something. I didn't realize how fragile all of that was, because stability isn't about how hard you work. The woman from the bank spoke gently, like she didn't want to scare me, but fear doesn't ask permission. "Ma'am, can you confirm a $500 international transfer?" I laughed. I actually laughed. I was asleep. There was silence. Then, "This transaction was made from your joint account." Joint. That word hit harder than the amount. Because money can be replaced, identity cannot. When my father died, everything became heavy. My mother stopped sleeping, my brother stopped trying, and I became the default adult. I handled paperwork, funeral costs, legal forms. When my mother suggested the joint account, it didn't feel dangerous. It felt practical. "Just in case," she said. That's how most disasters begin, with just in case. At the bank, the manager avoided my eyes. He showed me transactions like he was apologizing. Transfers at 1 a.m., withdrawals from cities I had never visited, crypto wallets I didn't understand. $14,000 gone. But worse, my name had been used. That realization does something to you. It makes your skin crawl. It makes you feel exposed, like someone has been living inside your house while you were asleep. My mother's house smelled the same. Tea, incense, comfort. But it wasn't safe anymore. My brother looked relaxed. That hurt more than the money, because guilt usually looks nervous. Comfort means confidence. When I asked him where the money went, he didn't deny it. He minimized it. That's how you know it's not a mistake. Mistakes panic. Patterns explain. The loan alerts destroyed me. Because now it wasn't theft. It was future theft. He wasn't just taking what I had. He was borrowing against years of my life without asking. Loans follow you. They affect where you live, where you work, who trusts you. He wasn't stealing money. He was stealing time. When I confronted him, he cried. Crying confuses victims because empathy kicks in right when anger should. And then my mother said the sentence that finally broke something inside me. "Don't ruin the family over money." That's when I understood. I was already expendable. The lawyer didn't ask how I felt. She asked for evidence. Emails, IP addresses, access logs. The system doesn't care about love, only proof. And proof was everywhere. Court isn't dramatic like movies. No shouting, no speeches, just documents quietly destroying lies. When the judge asked my brother if he had considered the consequences, he didn't answer, because consequences are abstract until they arrive. When the loans were cleared and my credit score restored, people congratulated me. "You won!" But winning felt empty, because I lost a version of my family that I thought existed. Success came, but peace didn't. Every holiday felt optional. Every celebration felt incomplete. I trusted systems now, not people. And then one day, he came back. He was thinner, quieter, older in the eyes. He didn't ask for forgiveness. That mattered. He just wanted me to stop doubting myself. That's when I realized real remorse doesn't beg. It accepts. The judge asked, "If you say no, his future ends." That's not justice. That's power. and power tests character. I didn't give trust, I gave structure, because structure protects everyone. When my mother said, "You were right," it didn't heal everything, but it validated reality. Sometimes closure is not love, it's acknowledgement. This is not a story about money. It's a story about access, boundaries, identity, and how love becomes dangerous when it demands self-destruction. Looking back, this didn't start with money. It started when I was 8 years old. I was the child who remembered bills were due, the one who reminded adults about appointments, the one who learned early that peace came from being useful. My brother cried, I solved. He broke things, I fixed them. No one ever said it out loud, but the rule was clear. He was protected, I was responsible. That conditioning didn't disappear with age, it waited. After the court case ended, something strange happened. I had my money back, my credit score was restored. On paper, everything was fine. But my body didn't believe it. Every notification startled me. Every unknown number felt dangerous. I checked my bank app the way some people check locks. Once, twice, 10 times. At night, I dreamed of spreadsheets filled with red numbers. That's when I learned something important. Financial abuse doesn't end when the numbers are fixed. It ends when your nervous system does. Therapy introduced me to a word I didn't like. Enmeshment. It means you were never allowed to be separate. My family didn't see me as an individual. I was an extension, a resource, a backup plan. That realization hurt more than the betrayal, because it meant this wasn't an accident. It was a system. People often ask why I didn't cut my family off completely. The answer is simple. Walking away entirely would have been another form of abandonment, and I had abandoned myself enough already. Boundaries are harder than exits. They require presence without surrender, and that kind of strength is exhausting. For an entire year, I didn't lend money. I didn't co-sign anything. I didn't merge accounts. I didn't even share passwords with people I loved. Not because I was cold, because I finally understood what access costs. Trust without safeguards isn't trust. It's optimism. My brother rebuilt his life slowly, not with my help. That mattered. He worked entry-level jobs, attended recovery meetings, faced consequences without shortcuts. I watched from a distance, because growth without accountability is just another performance. The day I realized I was free wasn't dramatic. It was a random Tuesday. I went an entire day without checking my bank app. That's when I knew. Freedom isn't wealth. Freedom is the absence of fear. After her stroke, my mother changed. She became quieter, more careful. She didn't ask for money anymore. She asked questions. How are you really? Sometimes people don't grow until they lose power. I won't lie. Even now, there are nights I wonder what would have happened if I had just paid everything, if I had saved everyone. Then I remember the truth. Saving them would have destroyed me, and no one was volunteering to save me. Success felt different after that. Achievements felt heavier. Celebrations felt quieter, because I knew something now. Everything I built could be taken if I wasn't vigilant. So I became vigilant, not paranoid, prepared. I started mentoring young professionals, not about money, about permission. Permission to say no, permission to protect yourself, permission to disappoint people who benefit from your silence. Almost every session, someone cried, because no one taught us that love can have boundaries and still be real. I once wrote my brother a letter. I never sent it. It said, I don't hate you, but I refuse to bleed quietly so you can avoid discomfort. I kept that letter. Not for him, for me. This story isn't really about my brother. It's about people who confuse access with entitlement, families that reward chaos, and silence that gets mistaken for loyalty. Here is the truth that changed my life. Love that demands self-destruction is not love. It's consumption, and I choose not to be consumed. For a long time, I thought healing meant forgetting the phone calls, the threats, the way money turned into a weapon. But healing isn't amnesia. Healing is remembering without shaking. I stopped explaining myself to family, to friends, to strangers on the internet. Explanations invite debate. Boundaries don't. Silence became my strongest language. People noticed the change. They said I had become distant, cold, too independent. What they really meant was I was no longer convenient. One evening, my brother called. No crisis, no emergency, just a quiet voice asking, "How did you do it?" I told him the truth. I stopped expecting someone else to save me. He didn't reply for a long time. Then he said, "I think that's what scares me most." Money stopped feeling emotional. It became practical. Numbers, systems, rules. And for the first time in my life, money stopped controlling me. I learned something unexpected. Guilt doesn't disappear when you're right. It disappears when you're honest. Honest about what you can give. Honest about what you can't. Holidays were the hardest. Empty chairs, short phone calls, awkward pauses. But peace filled the silence, and peace was worth the discomfort. I used to believe loyalty meant endurance, staying, absorbing, sacrificing. Now I know loyalty starts with self-respect. Anything else is self-erasure. One night, I reread old messages. Apologies wrapped in excuses. Love followed by demands. That's when I saw it clearly. They didn't miss me. They missed access. I forgave them quietly, not with a phone call, not with a reunion, but by releasing the fantasy that they would ever become who I needed. My life became smaller in people, but larger in meaning. Fewer voices, clearer values, and finally, room to breathe. If you're listening to this and you feel guilty for choosing yourself, let me tell you something no one told me. You are not selfish for surviving what others normalized. This is where the story really ends. Not with revenge, not with reconciliation, but with ownership. Of my time, my money, my peace. I didn't lose my family. I found myself. Sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is stop paying the price for someone else's comfort.